So let's roll back the years to 1994, and that was the first time that I stepped into Wesley. I didn't know anybody, but I had been invited by a friend, but I couldn't see her. You know what Wesley's like, so many people. But I did see a young English lady. She was talking at the water cooler, and she was actually, her name was Claire Lewis Lim. She was a church staff. But I had a feeling that I was in the right place when I saw her there. So I approached her and asked her if she could help me to find the Sunday school for the children. So Claire became a very good friend of mine. I also was happy to be back in the Methodist Church because I'd grown up in the Methodist Church in England. And I felt my mum would be pleased that I was back at church in a Methodist church. And to be honest, I actually fell in love with the sanctuary. It was just such a beautiful English church, and it made me feel very homely. Having arrived at Wesley, I really wanted to get involved. That was my main objective, was to get to know people, get involved with the church. A Homemakers Fellowship, as it was in those days, it did meet my objectives, and I got to know some people. So Ruth and I actually knew biz. We didn't really know anything about small groups, but we sort of together we set up Homemakers Small Group, and with much fear and trepidation, but trusting in the Lord, we started Homemakers. And the beautiful thing really was that the Lord brought people into Homemakers Small Group. I was very thankful to the Lord for bringing these people in, and we also had some local mums as well. And from the local mums, I was really amazed that I was learning so much, not only about the Lord, but also about opportunities for growth as a Christian. So one of the things that the ladies talked about was Bible study fellowship. So in those days, Wesley hosted a day group. It was a ladies group at Wesley. So I went along for the introduction class because you had to go for the intro class to decide whether you wanted to join BSF. So I went along and I did join BSF, and I attended BSF for 7 years. In BSF, actually, there was somewhat of a paradigm shift, I would say, because I'd never thought of myself as a leader. I'd always thought that I was just a regular churchgoer. I was not a leader per se. But in Bible study fellowship, I was invited to go into leadership quite early on. And I really felt that I learned a lot in terms of managing group discussions, looking after a group of ladies, praying for them, being in touch with them, helping them, talking through issues with them, and also with children, because I did some time as a children's leader too. So I learned all about how you would encourage children to learn Bible verses, how to present a Bible story from a child's point of view. So this was really a season of learning for me, and that actually is the BSF motto. BSF says BSF is actually a season of learning for a lifetime of service, and that's exactly what it was for me. I felt that that's where I got my training in BSF. So yeah, so now I'm a small group leader, but just a word to small group leaders that actually it's not all a bed of roses. It can be quite difficult, and we all have to remember as leaders that we're put there by the Lord. We're not there because it's our choosing, but because the Lord chose us, and it's His group, and we're serving Him, we're servant leaders.